Now recording.
All right. So last time, 2 weeks ago, on Tales of Plymouth, the kids made it further into the fairgrounds and found that the birds were constructing a habitat of their own. And even though I had described it as not human looking, the main takeaway that I was trying to give you is that it was being constructed by the birds and it wasn't following any human design.
Alien.
It's not alien. And once you investigated that, you discovered that they were kind of building a society of their own. Well, you know, from your investigation, there are two social groups of birds: the predators and the, I wouldn't say prey, but the non-violent birds. The non-violent birds were building a society of their own. The predatory birds were watching what was happening and taking note. And when you had managed to scare them away from their habitat that they were building, you noticed that the predatory birds followed them. And then, once you had completed your investigation of the construction, you left, or you were in the process of leaving the fairgrounds when you found out someone was watching you. And you kind of not really chased them down, but you hurried and yelled at them to stop, which they did, because they weren't necessarily running from you, but they were kind of trying to remain unseen. And you had met one Stacy. What's her name? Stacy Johnson is her name. And she said that she was watching the birds because she noticed a few things. And she noticed your group investigating the bird habitat. And she invited you back to her house, which you took her up on the invitation. And you found out that she was actually living in her uncle's house. She hasn't seen her uncle since she arrived here. And that she lives in Boston, and she ran away from home from an abusive stepfather. And she ran away to her uncle's house in Plymouth. And when she arrived here, like I already said, she hasn't seen her uncle, but her uncle works at the college, and she's been here for several weeks, and she still hasn't seen him, so he hasn't returned home. And she also has a dog, a dachshund called Ham, who kind of limps and is injured because the reason why she was checking out the fairgrounds is that her dog Ham was attacked by these birds. So she started to investigate herself. So when she brought you back to her uncle's house, you notice. Well, the kids noticed that she had caught one of the predator birds and already tried to dissect it on the kitchen table. You also investigated, not investigated, but you were also brought into other parts of the house. You were brought into the living room where you found a copy of the movie The Birds sitting in the VHS player. You also found that the one wall of the living room was devoted to famous scientists like Einstein and Madame Curie and
Doc Brown.
Wow. No, not Doc
Jonas
Brown.
Salk.
No. Tesla and, very famous scientists throughout history.
Elon Musk.
At this point, he would probably be like 5 years old. I don't know. How old is Elon Musk?
Yeah, he's still 5 years old. It's fine. He's
Yeah.
5
He's
years
an
old
engineer,
now.
not a scientist.
All right. He's not a scientist. Isn't he on the spectrum as well?
Yes.
The
Not that
asshole
that
spectrum.
means anything.
He's
51?
Is he really?
That's what it says.
Man, Jim, he's older than us.
Yeah, just a
Figured he was
little.
around 50.
A little bit.
All right. So one wall of the living room was devoted to these guys, and then another wall was devoted to what appears to be a woman that Stacy's uncle knows. By the way, Stacy's uncle is where's his
Missing.
name? Is missing. No, his name.
Boyd? No.
Nope.
Yes?
Donald Dixon.
Damn it.
I didn't make
He's-
this name up.
He's the ornithologist that hasn't shown up to work in a while, right?
No. Yeah.
And is obsessed with that woman.
Hold on, you might be confusing a few points here. Boyd is the ornithologist that hasn't shown up to work.
Oh,
Christopher Boyd is the ornithologist. Daryl. Donald Dixon is an electrical engineer that worked at the college. And also Stacy's uncle. But the one wall of the living room was devoted to this girl or woman that seems very creepy or creeper, like in the photos. Not necessarily all like with her. Like she's obviously not a family member. Stacy didn't like point her out as anyone that she recognized. And then a few of them, Stacy did point out that her uncle Donald was in the background of. But Stacy brought you to her uncle's study, where you found lots of haphazard drawings of various circuitry and whatnot, and you found basically the very vague and not complete diagram of how one would install chips into small animals and control them and whatnot. But all the drawings you found were kind of like missing the middle step. Like all the drawings were either like very rough and like at the very like brainstorm stage, where a lot of random things were just being thrown out, and like you saw a picture of a bird, a very weird looking bird with an antenna sticking out of its head. That could basically mean almost anything. And then like the very final phase where like very detailed, electrical diagrams with all the, various electric like resistances and whatnot across like a circuit board. If you ever seen a circuit board diagram, you'll know what I'm talking about. It doesn't look like a house, like a blueprint to a house. It's very like a squiggly line means this, and a line that has a loop in it means this, and then it has numbers next to it and whatnot. Like it's a very much a circuit diagram. And then, but the middle piece on how he got from like the very basic, like a bird with an antenna sticking out of his head, to the actual circuit board diagram, it is missing. That very middle piece was missing from all the drawings that was in his study. And then after you investigated that, you decided to bring Stacy with you, or not you, all of you, but Amelia decided to bring Stacy back home and have a somewhat sleepover. Stacy agreed to because her uncle's house was about to run out of food because no one's been shopping, and Stacy's been keeping low key, because like she said, she ran away from home and doesn't really want it known that she's at her uncle's house because she really doesn't want to go back to her home. Which Amelia's mother agreed to. And when they got home, and you guys split up, Fuzz and Willard went home to their respective homes. Amelia's mother fed them, and then they split up, and Amelia went to talk to her brother for a while, and Kat went to watch the movie The Birds by herself.
Alone in the dark.
Alone in the dark, which is going to give her nightmares. Where Amelia went to talk to her brother to kind of recommiserate with someone she trusts, so she can heal some of her trauma. Oh, by the way, when you sorry, English not so good for me.
I forgive you.
I have to look at character sheet.
It is
I have to have things in front of me.
Stacy.
When you have conditions and you spend time with your anchor, and an alternative to your anchor is spending time in your hideout with at least another kid. So at least two of you have to hang out in the hideout together. If you do this and it is satisfactory, like you just don't go there and like, hey, how you doing, and then leave. That doesn't count. It heals all your conditions.
Oh, well, fuck.
So I know a few of you, or one of you at least, has multiple conditions, and all of you spent time with your anchor last game. Except maybe for Kat. I don't remember Kat spending time. What is your anchor, Kat?
My cat now.
Oh, yeah, I think you did spend time with your cat.
And yeah, actually, my cat is watching the birds with me.
All right. So all of your conditions are healed. Those of you who have multiple conditions.
Yay.
But like I said, an alternative to the anchor is spending quality time with at least one other kid in the hideout. Also counts as the same thing as spending time with your anchor. So you all kind of had a scene with your anchor. I believe Fuzz went and spent time with his brother and learned a new song on his guitar. Obviously, Kat spent time with her cat watching the birds, and Willard spent time with his
rah.
Yeah, I know. Drag queen. That's the word I was looking for. Or ex-drag queen, or current drag queen, or
former
drag queen who's now not living in San Francisco anymore and living in the very conservative town of Plymouth. So kind of has to keep it on the DL. Where at the end of the session, wow, I've been speaking for a while now. At the very end of the session, Willard goes home, and his kind of forward, impulsive father has told him to go check on the dog, the family dog. It's more like the father's dog, but it's considered the family dog. Who he hasn't heard in quite a while. So Willard, it is now dark. The sun has gone down. Has went to the backyard to investigate the dog and his silence. And I believe the back light didn't work.
Yep, and they tried to get a flashlight.
And he got a flashlight. and he went outside to investigate the backyard, and he moved towards the doghouse with flashlight in hand. And this is where we pick up. Willard has moved towards the doghouse where the very edges of the light have touched upon what appears to be the furry skin of the dog named Jasper.
Yeah, I think the last thing I did was yell for Dad because the dog wasn't breathing.
I don't know if we got that far. And if we did, I'm going to retcon that.
Retcon.
I'm going to pull back, rewind for 10 seconds.
You're gonna make me do it over and over again, aren't you? Like a time loop.
Yep, exactly. Groundhog Day until you get it right. And the very edges of the light, you can see the body of the dog kind of just laying in the doghouse at the other end of the dog run, furthest from the back porch. You're probably about 15 feet away. And you've called for your dad, but you don't get a response.
Okay. So I pick up a rock.
Yep.
And I throw it at the side of the doghouse. Jasper.
All right. The rock hits the side of the doghouse. And you see that the dog jerks to life. And
now I'm gonna get
you can see the head kind of... He's kind of like a... Jasper's... He's kind of like a golden retriever. But he also has... He's a mix.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a golden retriever, and he's also like I don't want to say Saint Bernard, but he like a big dog. That
like a
is
bull
almost
mastiff.
No, not a bull mastiff. Like he's like human size, like a normal adult human size. Like so, if he stood up on his hind legs, he'd be like 5-6 feet tall.
So
like, he's a big dog.
So not a bull mastiff.
No. So yeah, all right. So he's a mutt. He's like his parents were like a golden retriever and like a what the hell did I just say that? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know.
I don't know. You didn't say it yet.
Yes, I did. I said it earlier, and the dog with the brandy around its neck. Saint Bernard.
You said Saint Bernard, but you said not a Saint Bernard.
Yeah, but I changed my mind because
okay.
I can't think of another big dog. Saint Bernards are huge.
I call him Cujo.
Like he looks like a Saint Bernard, but his fur is the fur of a golden retriever. So he has golden fur.
Wendigo.
And as the dog kind of shakes to life, you can see that it kind of like its head kind of peers in your direction, and you can see that on his snout, some of his golden fur has been tinged to a reddish hue.
Okay, I take a step back.
And he kind of he doesn't bark at you. He kind of just gives you a low like, huh? That's terrible, but like a not quite a bark, but like a
chuff.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm trying to help. Sorry.
A chuff, like, huh. Like he's spitting out air, like he's trying to bark, but he can't.
Well, I still am afraid of Jasper, and I see blood on his mouth, so I'm going to take a step back from him.
Yes, you're getting flashbacks of Cujo.
Like, Jasper, are you okay?
He kind of just looks at you, and his head kind of shakes. Like, he doesn't shake his head at you, but you can see that his head is kind of like shaking as he looks at you.
Okay. I'm gonna take another
And
step
you don't.
back.
He hasn't stood up. He's still laying down. It's just his head. When you threw the rock, he picked his head up,
Right.
and now he's looking at you, and his head is shaking, and the light. You can't really see what kind of eyes he's making. You know how sometimes you can.
Right.
You feel empathy because they make like certain type of eye movements. But the flashlight you're holding and pointing in his direction, at least I assume you're pointing in his direction,
Mm-hmm.
is reflecting off his eyes.
I'm gonna keep stepping back with my eyes on him until I'm out of range of his chain.
Okay.
And then I'm going to back into the house and try to get my father.
All right. Your father is watching a game, a sports game. It being summer, it's probably baseball. And since it's New England, it's probably a Red Sox game. And he's like,
Dad, Jasper's sick. Something's wrong with him. He's got blood on his mouth.
"What'd you do, boy?"
I didn't do anything. He was sleeping and he wouldn't wake up, and then he just kept staring at me, and he's got blood on his mouth. I don't think he's okay. I think he's sick.
Well, there's nothing we can do tonight, so why don't you just go to bed? I'll look at him in the morning.
Okay. I think he's really sick, Dad.
Are you a vet?
No. Not a vet.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Okay. I get out of the
He
room.
kind of goes. Yeah, he goes back to the game. He opens up another can of beer, and he starts chugging it.
Where's Jasper's food kept? You said it was a bowl
In
at the
the
bottom
kitchen.
of the stairs that he gets fed in.
At the bottom, the bottom of the stairs.
And there's like
to
cans
the,
out there.
Yep, and they haven't been touched.
He hasn't eaten anything.
Correct.
Okay.
At the bottom of the stairs of the patio, porch, out back of the house.
All right. I'm gonna get another can of food, and I'm gonna get a pair of tongs. You know, like the kind you use for like grilling and stuff.
Yep.
And I'm gonna put food in the bowl, and I'm gonna like bring it out and like try to push it into the doghouse with the tongs with my light on him the whole time, like waiting for him to jump out at me.
Okay. Do you empty the previous food that has been untouched?
Yes.
All right. So you put new food into the bowl, and you make your way over to the doghouse. And again, Jasper doesn't really move. Like, his head moves, and he watches you during this whole thing. But he doesn't make an attempt to get up or move anything other than his head. And he watches you as you approach, and you put the bowl down, and you push it in his direction with the tongs. And as it gets within distance, he kind of lowers his head. And not so much as he moves his head to place it in the bowl, as he just drops his muscle control and his head drops into the bowl. And you can see that he opens his mouth and he's attempting to intake the food in the bowl.
Okay.
But again, his body doesn't move. Like, he doesn't get up to eat the food.
Right.
He kind of just, like I said, drops his head into the bowl. And you can see his tongue kind of lashing out slowly, but not like with any energy of any kind.
Okay.
Out the side of his mouth, kind of like trying to push the food into his mouth. He's obviously having trouble.
All right.
But he is getting some food, and he doesn't. Once the food is in front of him, and he gets that taste on his tongue, he's not looking at you at all.
Okay. Well, my empathy is winning over my fear a little bit. So I'm going to get closer. I mean, I'm going to be looking around with the light, but I'm going to, like, try to see if he'll let me put my hand near the food bowl. And if he does, I'll try to feed him some of the food.
All right. He does. But you're not quite sure if he's just not being perceptive enough. Because, again, once he starts that taste of the food, he's not looking away from the bowl. And also he's not picking his head up.
Mm-hmm.
He's just trying to push the food into his mouth with his tongue, which, like I said, his tongue is lashing out from the side and trying to, like, scoop the food into his mouth.
Yeah, and I was gonna, with great trepidation and ready to jump away, I'm like scooping up a little bit of food and holding it up to his mouth, basically.
Okay. As you get closer and you start pushing food into his mouth, you notice under one of his front legs, he's not moving it, but under his front legs you can see feathers.
Okay. I play the light over it. Obviously, he got a bird.
There is definitely something underneath. Like, it's not underneath his paw, it's more underneath his chest.
Right.
But he's sitting on top of it, and it definitely has feathers.
Okay. I mean, I'm trying to investigate with the light without touching him too much. I'll try to use the tongs to, like, pry what it is from under him.
Right. No, he is fully invested in trying to get some food into him. He doesn't even pay attention to what you're doing. And you manage to push and pull the carcass of a hawk out from underneath him. The hawk is well mangled. But you can see as you kind of pull the carcass out, there's a little less bit, like you're the point of the part of the body that's sticking out is the rear end.
Mm-hmm.
So you have its talons and, like, its tail feathers and whatnot are what you actually saw. But as you pull it out, before the head actually comes out from underneath Jasper, there's, like, a little bit of tension that you have to pull, a little more than the weight of the dog that's sitting on top of this bird carcass, like as if the beak of the hawk was
in the chest of the dog.
In the chest of the dog.
Yeah.
And as you pull the rest of the bird out, Jasper kind of squeaks a little, like a hurtful squeak, which you've never heard him make. And you can see a little flesh. You can see a little fresh coating of blood on the bird's beak as you pull the carcass out from underneath him. But after the small, whelp of pain, he's still intent on just getting that food into him.
All right. Well, a lot more sure that he isn't going to attack me out of hand. I'm going to get him some water and put that near the bowl and watch him to make sure he doesn't drown himself. And sorry, go
ahead. No, continue.
And I was going to investigate the bird and look for wiring and circuitry or the previous traces of. So
you easily find it.
Okay.
And by this time, as you investigate the bird carcass, Jasper has moved on from the food, and now he's doing pretty much the same thing with the water. He's not like drowning in the water, but he kind of just drops his head into the water bowl and is kind of pushing the water into his mouth with his tongue.
Okay. Does he have any wounds that I could see without moving him? Because I'm afraid of dog.
Not that you can see.
Okay. Jasper, I just want to look. And I like try to touch his paw and see if he like, reacts, and then I'll try like grabbing a hold of his paw and see if I can push him back so that I can see underneath.
All right. As you touch his paw, he kind of whelps in pain. Like, "Arr!"
Okay, I stop. Okay.
Make don't make any rolls.
Okay. I'm gonna back up, and I'm gonna take the bird.
Yep.
And I'm gonna sneak around to the front of the house.
Before you can sneak around to the front of the house,
Okay.
you get about to the corner of the house when a voice startles you. A voice from atop of the shed that functions as your father's tool shed / motorcycle shed. It's like a garage, but not really, because it's always full of crap.
Yep.
That you can't put a car into, except for a motorcycle. But it's always filled with junk. A voice kind of stopped, like you stop it as soon as you get to the corner of the house. The voice kind of like speaks. It's like, you pay.
Can I see the bird?
As you look up, you can see the silhouette of several birds on the eave of the tool shed, kind of looking down at you.
Well, that just speeds me on to my previous action then. I'm going to take my tongs and I'm going to throw them at the birds and run for my bike. No longer being stealthy.
All right. Go ahead and roll force.
I don't do force very well.
All right, you got one success.
Wow.
So you managed to hit one of the birds,
Okay.
which kind of just doesn't really do any damage, but sends it off its perch.
Right.
But the others are still there. They don't move to chase after you, but once you get to your bike, what do?
I throw the bird in the basket and I start booking it down the road to the one person I know I can depend on to take care of me.
All right. Which is
Buzz.
Not Cobb?
Nope.
Not Cat.
You've always been my protector. You see,
I knew as soon as you said that,
he doesn't notice you protecting him, Cat. He knows Fuzz does.
Mhm.
all right. Fuzz, you are finishing up with your brother. You've just learned several chords to, I don't know, some Metallica song, I think we determined.
I think it was Master Puppets.
It's the mid-'80s, so
Mm-hmm.
whatever mid-'80s Metallica there is. When there is a commotion outside of... do you live with your brother? Does your brother live at home?
I think so. I think, what am I, 15? I was thinking he's still in high school, but like a couple years older than me, so he's...
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not one of the kids.
Right.
All right. I think I set you living in town in one of the houses on one of the many side streets of Plymouth, which I'm going to say that has a garage attached to it, and that is where your brother usually hangs out with his guitar and your guitar. When you hear a commotion outside as a bike pulls up, and you see the form of Willard looking a little distraught.
Breathing hard, barely able to breathe, with a dead bird in his hand that he pulls out of the basket of his bike.
I just go like this.
And your brother kind of looks at Willard and like,
I'll take care of this. Just stay
Okay.
here.
Your
I
friend
go out to meet Willard.
looks kind of like a fag.
He's different.
Right. Your brother leaves you, and Willard, you are approached by Fuzz.
Hello. No, I'm just kidding. No, Willard is crying, and he's like, Fuzz, the birds, they killed the dog, and they came for me, and they said I have to pay.
What? Slow down. What are you talking about?
He's trying to breathe. Jasper's hurt and really bad, and he had a bird like attached to him. This one, and then there were 3 more of them when I was bringing this to you on the roof, and they told me that I was going to pay. And I threw my what did I call them? Tongs at them, and I came here. I think they're coming to get us.
They said you have to pay, but they didn't say why.
I don't know.
Or they were talking to you specifically?
Nobody else was there. And Jasper's really hurt. I think they tried to kill him.
Why would they try to kill your dog?
I don't know.
This is really weird.
I know, but what are we going to do?
Well,
what about the others? What if they're going after the others?
it's kind of late now. Does your old man care if you stay here for the night?
You know he won't even notice.
Oh, I was going to say, I think I'm going to get my ass whooped, but I guess no.
No, he won't even notice. He'll think that he's so drunk at this point that he's probably asleep.
Got it.
He'll probably wake up at 6 in the morning and throw on a new T-shirt, just a new T-shirt.
No pants.
Now he'll wear the same pants and the same underwear, just a new T-shirt.
Just a new T-shirt. Gotta have a clean
He'll
T-shirt.
probably go off to the mill that he works at. First thing in the morning.
Sasamos. Woo!
And he won't even notice.
But what are our plans for the next day as far as meeting up with the others? Did we have any? Did we make any?
I think
We were talking about several different options.
Yeah, I think we had talking to the professor and going to BB River, right?
Yeah. Well, you had talking to the ornithologist or going to the ornithologist's house. You had attempting to go and find.
Because Kat found the train.
Yes.
Yard.
All right. Yes, you found something I left out of the
Recap.
the recap was that you found a piece of metal from the bird structure, and you discovered that the numbers and letters that were on the metal was from a railroad car.
Mm-hmm.
Which I want to point out that I was right about.
Yep. And knowing that the still existing railroad tracks in the area ran pretty much parallel to 93. And for whatever reason, you had Beebe River stuck into your mind as the destination of this location of heinous activity.
Yeah,
The evidence that you had for pointing towards Beaver River, I will admit, is that when you were at the hideout, you got a signal from the northeast, which kind of leads in that direction. And then also the rail line leads again parallel to 93, but leads through Beebe River. I don't know specifically why you guys thought it was Beebe River, but
Well, we also heard one of the chickadee described the trapped people as being near water.
right. But if you look at the map, well, not that you would know what 93 is, Chris, but you know what 93 is a highway. 93 parallels the Pemi River, which is this river that runs north to south on the map here, as well as the train tracks. So the train tracks, 93 or Highway 93 and the Pemi River all kind of crisscross and go in this very same direction.
Okay.
Yeah, Beebe River was pretty arbitrary. It was just a direction the early days, and we've stuck to it.
I'm not saying it's wrong.
No, we're kids. We're kids. We got it. You guys have it
set on Beaver River, and it's fair. I mean, going to school, if you heard that one of the kids in your class came from Beaver River, you would probably think evil, because it is a very low income. Where people of low income had housing, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
being children.
I know about Beaver River.
So I'm thinking it's not safe. Might not be safe for you to go back home tonight. So maybe you stay here, and then we'll talk to the others about it in the morning.
Maybe we should call them.
We can. I don't know if we'll be able to do much tonight, though. I'm assuming it's dark by now. What time is it?
It is dark. It is probably about 9 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
It's very late.
Kind of late to be calling people, I think.
This could be life or death.
Summer. It is like the middle of July. So the sun is, it is not completely dark. It is pretty dark.
It's like 4 o'clock today was.
Yeah, like there's still a few like ambient light of the sun, but the sun has gone down hours ago.
I mean, if you're really thinking we should call them, you can use the phone.
Okay, I hand you the bird.
No, because you can set it on the ground there for now.
I don't know. What kind of parents do you have, Fuzz?
I'm thinking mine are kind of absent. They're in the process of getting a divorce, and they don't pay much attention to me and my brother.
All right. So your absentee parent is obviously gone, and the parent that currently lives with you is perhaps trying to start a new life by dating and spending a lot of time with their dates.
Yeah.
I won't say which is which, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So yeah, you and your brother are pretty much left alone. Maybe thrown some money on the kitchen table to pick up groceries.
Okay.
And whatnot. Like, you're not neglected to the point where like you have to find food for yourself. But to the point where you don't rarely see your parent.
I bet you eat
Or
a lot of
parents.
subs from Vitamins.
Biedermann's didn't exist.
Are you sure?
In 84, it would be the Village Pub, which would later become Biedermann's.
What about Jamie Scoops? Was that there?
Yep, Jamie Scoops was indeed there.
Okay.
In fact, I had a birthday party there.
Did you?
In probably 1984 or 5. Yes, because I had their White Mountain sundae, which was like a giant bowl of ice cream with a scoop for every White Mountain. Man, if you weren't a kid in the 80s, you missed out. Hunter.
Yeah, but she got to grow
It's
up with
not
much
my
better
fault
computers.
that I wasn't born.
It was all ice cream and video games.
Not my fault that I wasn't born.
Yeah, but video games when we were kids were not nearly as cool as video games when she was a kid.
True.
Yeah,
but
go fuck yourself.
True, but
Wow.
we thought they were amazing.
Well, yeah. I
We
mean,
were
I
the
played
pioneers.
Donkey Kong Jr. all morning on a Saturday morning.
Yep, and the movies that came out that we thought were amazing that we can't watch ever again because they are actually terrible.
And just for that, just so you know, it became Bitterman's in 1973 when the Cellar Pub
Yes.
and the Down Home
Yes.
Deli became one.
Whatever.
Nope, that's what you
That's
get.
lies.
That's
That's
what
lies.
you get. That's from their
That's
website.
lies.
I was
That's
on their
lies.
website.
That's
That-
lies.
That is on their website.
That's lies. I'm telling you,
don't
it's
care.
lies. You know how I know it's lies?
Because you said so?
My mother worked there
Okay, well, that's
as
what
a
the website.
barmaid.
Excuse me. That's what the website said.
I'm telling you that. And you know what? After kindergarten, you know where I spent my time?
Wait a minute. Did you say kindergarten?
Whatever. Kindergarten.
Liver Garden? Is that the next one?
Kindergarten.
I'm just
Cool.
thinking of this garden with these like kidneys growing out of the ground.
Whatever.
I used to say kindergarten too, so
Fuck you guys.
I feel for you.
Stop making fun of him. That's cute.
No, I
It is
grew up in a
cute.
bar. I grew up in that bar.
Which is why you say kindergarten.
Shut up.
At least he doesn't say Dimetrodon.
That's
true.
also where living in Rumney, and we had a ski and skate program.
Mm-hmm.
My parents did not pick me up, so the principal of the school, one Mr. Merlantane, called my mother and told the principal to drop me off at the village scrub. Was it the village scrub?
The wash
It was
place
the
on the Highland?
Yep, exactly. And he dropped me off there when she actually meant the village pub. So I got dropped off at the laundromat. But him being a principal of a school was smart enough to know not just to drop me off and leave, but to make sure I knew someone there,
Did you
which
say
obviously I didn't.
Did you say Lamontang?
That's it. Well, yeah, Lamontagne, I think.
That's interesting. That must be. So he was principal at that school, and his wife was the principal at my school at the same time.
They lived in Wentworth.
Yeah, they lived. I actually know where the house is. I don't know if I could tell you where it is, but it was on Rowantown Road.
Yep. Which he called my mother again, and she corrected him and said, "Yeah, no, drop him off at the village pub, the bar." Which, because my mother worked there, he accepted.
See, we could have crossed paths because I spend a lot of time at the village scrub because that's where my grandmother went to do laundry.
Olden times.
Wow, he actually watched you, though, and didn't just let you run off like I assumed they did in the 80s.
No, he actually, found a payphone and called my mother again.
Yeah, they had payphones back then.
Yeah. I mean, because he couldn't just, whip out his cell phone and call her.
Mm-hmm.
They had payphones for a long time. Yeah. Call, collect, tell your mom where you were.
Done that a couple of times when after the movies, they drop us off for the movies.
Yep.
And you had to walk over to
the Pizza House.
No, not the Pizza House. I think Tony used to work there. The convenience store on South Main Street.
I used to work there.
Oh, you used to work there.
Yep.
Used to have a payphone outside.
Yeah, the woman that managed it was my mom's best friend since she was like 5.
Yeah, but they had a name for it though. I thought.
I don't remember now. I want to call it Quick Mart, but I think I'm just remembering everything from movies.
It was Tedeschi, and I don't think it's open anymore now. Anyways.
It
was across from the Greasy Wheel, which was a bicycle shop, which is also the shop that Jeremy and EJ used to live above. Or I should say Jack lived above, and they lived with him.
I think that's how Amanda's mother met Jack, I bet, because they lived above a shop, too. They were, friendly for a very long time, which, that was interesting.
Jack's an interesting person.
Yeah.
I was going to say, are you sure Amanda's mother wasn't a deviant?
Oh, well, she was considered one. She was a single mother, in Plymouth, so...
That just makes you a deviant?
You wouldn't believe the rumor mill.
I'm pretty safe to assume there's a lot of single mothers that used to live in Plymouth.
Yeah, but she was pretty singled out. She was a single mom. She was poor, and she was from out of state originally. So,
yeah.
So there was a lot of talk around town about her, and
I mean, my best friend growing up was a single mom, and she had a boyfriend every other week. So,
yeah, I think they just targeted her. Plus, I seem to remember it was something to do with a fireman.
That best friend is dead, by the way, and he was younger than me.
Was that Barton?
Nope.
Who?
I don't think you ever met him.
No.
No, his name was Chris Levesque.
No, I never met him.
Yep.
Sorry, man.
Because his mother lived in the Plymouth area, but his father, they were divorced, lived in Manchester. So he grew up. He lived with his father. But he's dead now.
Yeah, the only person I could think of was John Barton that died. That was our age group. So no, Eschenbach too, right? Yeah.
Eschenbach is dead.
It didn't. Is it Eschenbach that died? No. No, I thought it was Eschenbach.
Really?
You're making me question myself. I thought Chris Eschenbach died.
My memory of him is singing "Man in the Box" from Alice in Chains during one of our prep rallies.
Let's see.
Did I say prep? I meant pep. Anyways, I think we're getting off track here.
Yeah, there he is. Yep. Yeah, he did. He passed May of 2016.
Oh, that sucks.
At 41. Yeah. Amanda was more friends with him than I was, but I remember from high school. So,
I mean, the bridge, where the old green bridge used to be, the new bridge is named after one of our classmates.
Which one's that?
One of them that joined the army and went and got killed in Afghanistan or Iraq. I forget what his name was, but he was one of our classmates.
I'm trying to think who you're talking about.
Well, if you ever go, I mean, if you look at Plymouth at all and look at the bridge name, they named the bridge after him.
It wasn't Diamond, right? He's still alive.
No.
Oh, I think I don't know. I can't think of who that is. I wasn't, as you know, I wasn't very, socially oriented.
Anyways, so you are standing outside of Fuzz's house, and Fuzz is I believe, trying to convince you not to go home.
Yes, and he said I could use his phone, and I was trying to hand him the bird.
Yes, and he wouldn't take the bird.
And I wouldn't take it.
Give him the bird.
So I put the bird back in the basket, and I call Kat first, because she's by herself and the most vulnerable.
Well, see, because of the way phone numbers work, Kat and Amelia share the same phone number.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. No, I forgot that they actually...
It's not like they all have their own personal phone number.
No, I just forgot. I thought, for some reason, I still thought Kat was living at the dump, at the garage place, whatever.
Nope.
That's right, he's staying with with Amelia, so... I'll call Amelia's house.
All right. And Amelia's father answers. Radcliffe residence, how may I help you?
Mr. Radcliffe, can I talk to Amelia and Kat, please? This is Willard.
Well, I don't remember a Willard, but it is awful late at night, young sir.
It's really important. Could you just give him a message?
How important is it? It's 9 o'clock at night.
My dog's really sick, and I'm
Perhaps
really
you
scared.
Should take him to a veterinarian.
And I start crying on the phone.
Oh, good Lord. Amelia, Kat, Amelia. And you can hear him walk away from he puts the phone down, but he doesn't hang up. But you can hear him in the background getting more distant from the phone.
Okay.
Amelia, Kat.
I'm glad you're not dying.
Anyone who will answer me.
But does he hear birds in the background from the movie?
What time is it?
9 o'clock at night. You're probably just done taking your nightly shower. I don't know if you take nightly showers.
She's a girl. She does.
I used to. I sure as fuck don't anymore.
All right. Well, then I'm gonna guess that you are just fresh out of the shower, and Kat, you are just about. You are just standing there in front of not standing, but you are sitting on the couch in front of the TV in a completely darkened room, watching the credits roll on the birds, just reading each name.
Okay, I'm going to yell what, but before I do that, yes, I was dying. I ended up choking and had to spit shit out and then clean up the mess because I was choking, so.
Oh.
But I'm okay.
See, that's why you should stay on camera so that we know that you're choking.
No.
We can save you.
So we can call Andrew, not that I have his telephone number.
Yeah, I'm okay now. So I'm just gonna yell like, "What do you want?" Because I only heard you yelling, so I don't know what you've said.
Excuse me, young lady.
What?
This is your father speaking.
I know, but I don't know if you said anything other than Amelia and Kat. That's all I heard when I came back from dying.
Oh, all right. No, he's yelling like Amelia, Kat, a telephone, Kat, Amelia.
Can you tell them to call back in 10 minutes?
He starts to move back towards the phone.
Is there a phone in the room I'm in, or?
Yes, there is a phone in the living room.
They're rich.
Okay.
They have more than one phone.
Yes. And it's all on the same phone line.
Oh,
Which seems strangely odd today. No, it really does.
True.
It allowed me to record my brother's phone calls.
Meaning, the way we used to live, we didn't have cell phones, obviously. But a house only had one phone line. It had multiple phones, but they were all on the same phone line.
So if you picked one up, you could listen to someone else's conversation.
Exactly. Which
you usually
really
tell if someone
weird
picked
today.
up, though.
Yeah, couldn't you hear it if like someone else picked
Well,
up?
because you would
You
hear
can't tell, yeah.
the click from the electrical connection. But see, I had taken and with some Legos and some wiring and a recording deck.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
I built this little thing so I could record my brother's phone calls to prove he was being a bad person.
Of course you did.
Good for you.
Wow.
Anyways, yes, there is a phone in the living room, Cat.
Okay, Mr. Radcliffe, I've got it. And I'll pick up the phone.
And
Hello?
and he was he had blood on his mouth, and
As soon as you hear that, you hear the click of the other line as Mr. Radcliffe hangs up wherever phone he had onto the receiver.
Bloody mouth?
Now it's
What?
just you and Willard.
and Fuzz.
Well,
So
Yeah, but
I
I'm not on the
think
phone.
Fuzz is like standing near you. I don't think he's on the phone with you.
Right.
oh, he doesn't have two phones.
Again,
No.
how weird is that? But anyways,
Cat, don't go outside.
Okay, why not?
The birds, they're after me. They're after us, I think.
he's telling the person that just watched the Birds movie all by herself.
Well, yeah, I mean, Alfred, the movie would have us believe that, but I guess it's maybe true.
No, it's true. I have one of the birds here because Jasper killed it, but his beak was stuck in Jasper's chest and he's really hurt because they attacked him. And then they talked to me and they told me that I'm going to pay. And there were like a whole bunch of them on the roof. And it was 3. And then I threw the tongs at him and I rode away to Fuzz because, you know, Fuzz, he'll protect me. But I'm worried about you guys now.
So, would he have mentioned Jasper? I'm guessing he would have, and I would know who Jasper is.
Maybe.
You in particular, knowing some of your backstory, would definitely know who Jasper is.
Okay. Oh, wow, that's horrible. Are you all right? Is Jasper all right, relatively speaking?
No, I don't think Jasper is good at all. But
Oh no.
I get scared. Maybe I shouldn't have left him. But, like, I don't know what to do because my dad, like, he just goes to sleep and he wouldn't come outside. And what if the birds, like, attacked?
Well, should I get over there?
No, you have to stay safe in the house. You and Amelia can't go outside. Not until Fuzz comes with me.
I'm going to say it's about this time that, Amelia, you become available. You finish drying your hair or whatever.
Do I have a phone in my room too?
You do have a phone in your room.
All right, I'm gonna pick it up.
Rich.
What was the last thing you just said?
That you and Kat need to stay in the house until Fuzz and I can get there. Tomorrow.
When exactly do you plan on? Okay, tomorrow.
Well, I was finishing the sentence, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Why do you? This is really good. This is exactly like how it works.
Well, because the birds they attacked Jasper and he killed one of them, but the other 3 told me that I had to pay, and he's really hurt, and if they could hurt Jasper, he's huge and he's a dog, and if he could get hurt, then they could hurt you, and so you should stay inside until Fuzz and I can get there, and then Fuzz can protect all of us.
Are you sure your dog? Sorry, excuse me. Are you sure that your dog just didn't attack the bird that happened to have the thing?
No, it has the circuitry in its head, and his beak was like stuck in his chest from where it was attacking him.
Can I look outside and see if like any of the horses look like they're having issues, or if they're all in their stable?
Well, you don't see any horses outside because if you were good horse owners, they would be in their stalls by now, locked away for the
stalls. Right.
So
I don't own a horse in real life.
There would be none in the pasture.
Okay. Are the stalls on the property?
Yes, they are in the barn, along with Cat's tractor.
And poop. Lots of poop.
Well, there's a pile of poop out back of the barn.
Well, I think we're okay. I'll go check on my horses, but I think we should be fine.
No, don't go outside.
Okay, I won't go outside.
Well,
big
He's totally going
outside.
outside.
Big spider.
No, there's no big spider. No, fuck you. That was a dream.
Plot twist.
Ow.
The dream is coming true.
No. Fine, I'll stay inside and be boring.
That's a good idea.
Well,
yes. Go back to your brother and find out he's a closet D&D player.
Yeah, I found that out last game. I mean, she didn't, but I did, which is adorable. I think I'll be okay. I think horses can take care of a couple of birds.
Well, Jess was as big as a horse, and they got him.
Yeah, but I have more than one horse.
A pack of horses.
I appreciate your concern, but we should... Wow, I just lost everything that ever happened in this fucking game. We can figure it out tomorrow. Is your dog still alive?
He is, but he's not doing very well.
Can you get him to a vet? Did the vet exist at this point in time?
Yes, the vet.
No, I mean I meant like the Plymouth Animal Hospital, like the specific one.
Yes.
It wasn't it on Tenny Mountain?
So yeah, no, you know where the fuck. You know
I
where
take him
the
to the
Plymouth...
one on the road to the Walmart.
No, well, yes and no. It doesn't exist where it currently exists, but do you know where Plymouth Pet and Aquarium is?
Yeah.
It existed in that building.
Okay. Oh, so it's even closer. Fuck.
That's on the Tenny Mountain Highway, right?
That's what I said, yeah.
You know,
Okay.
right next to West Coast Video, where you would rent movies and Nintendo games.
And find porn. If you're
go behind the curtain like Cat did.
If you're Cat.
I don't know if they had porn. Because, no, I think they were a legitimate movie rental place.
I mean,
didn't have porn.
To be honest, I don't remember if we had to go to Manchester to get it, or if it was because we didn't want to do it anywhere near home. So,
I think it was because you didn't want to do it anywhere near home, because the Tenny Mountain convenience store, which I believe is now a Tedeschi's or where the Common Man place is, had a video rental place that had pornos.
In Ashland?
No, in Plymouth.
Wait a minute. The Common Man...
Are you talking about the Common Man rest stop?
Yeah.
Oh, down there. Okay. You're talking about the place I worked. I got it.
The one with the Irving now?
The Irving. Yeah, that place used to have a movie rental place.
I was gonna say, because I'm like, there's no Tedeschi's here anymore, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yes.
I love all of it, but I don't need to hear about your porn habits when you were children.
I still have my West Coast Video membership card.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Nice.
Hanging on just in case?
Yeah. just in case it comes back.
I mean, you never know.
There's still one Blockbuster that's
Bell Bottoms came back for a while.
Usually it was the other way around. You held on to the movies from the place and never went back.
Yeah.
Late fees.
You did it the wrong way.
Yeah, I mean, the late fees. No one wants to be brought to court for late fees.
You know, when you get the X-Men movie and you rent it and then you never return it because you like it, but you didn't want to buy it because it's too expensive.
So you know how I said my best friend, his name was Chris Levesque?
Mm-hmm.
And we were really into video games. You couldn't tell.
Who wasn't? Yeah.
But his mother found us a rental copy of Super Mario Brothers 3
mm-hmm.
before there was a Super Mario Brothers 3.
What was the Japanese one?
It was a Japanese version,
Oh.
and it was only being rented by a rental place in Campton. And we played the shit out of that. And every time there was a scene where it had like a script, it was all in Japanese. And we had no idea what they were saying.
I had that happen
But
at
it didn't
PAX.
matter.
But we played the shit out of that game.
Super Mario 3 was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a Super Mario 64 or Mario Party. No, not Mario Party. The Mario 64, whatever you play on the Nintendo 64. And I bought it at PAX because they don't sell it readily anymore. And it is in Japanese. And I didn't know that.
You know you can ROM emulate all that stuff on your computer, right?
I do not have the patience nor time nor care to do that, especially now.
Okay.
But yes, I know there's things like...
Plus, it's entirely
Under the-
illegal.
I'm pretty sure you can do it on your cell phone now.
Yeah, I'm sure it is illegal, and I do it on my cell phone and on my computer, and I have pretty much every game that I ever had as a child and did not have and existed as a child.
Yeah, I can't play any of those games anymore because it feels like putting your head in like a box with like honey and stuff.
Well, I'm
Like,
not
very
sure what that alludes to, but I could play for about 5-10 minutes and I go, "Yep, that was great," and I'm done. I don't know about the honey part.
I'm just saying it was uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable.
It felt like
Why?
honey. Did you have a lot of honey on your head when you were a child?
No, I was thinking like a thick, viscous, like not quite fluid, but
Because of the graphics?
yeah, because it's like, wow, I was a kid and I thought this was the most amazing thing in the world. It felt like
Mhm.
I used to remember the Top Gun game that was for Nintendo, and I played that, and I was in a fighter jet, flying around, killing other jets and stuff. And you play that game now, and it's like, what the fuck?
Somebody did
Yeah.
it was either a YouTube or a TikTok that perfectly encapsulated what it felt like when you were a kid to play Adventure. Remember Adventure?
I loved Adventure.
And they played it with this dramatic, like, da 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 dun dun. I don't know what the
Yes.
song is, but they do the whole thing like with that music, and that's what it felt like when you were the kid,
The Duck Dragon would always kill me.
Yeah, but that's what it felt like, and now it's like, dear God, why?
I call it a Duck Dragon for those of you who don't know, because it was a dragon that would hunt you down after a certain point, but it had like a bill, so it looked like a.
It's supposed to be the snout, yeah.
Yeah, it looked like a snout, but it was like a bill. So it
What
looked
console
like
was this for?
Atari.
Oh. Don't know that one.
Yeah, no, it's.
Wait a minute, no, you don't know what an Atari is?
It's
Oh, I had an
prehistoric.
Atari. I don't know that
Yeah,
game.
no, it's
Oh,
prehistoric.
okay,
Man.
okay.
Prehistoric.
I knew you were a little bit younger, but I didn't know you were that much younger that you didn't know what
No, we had an
was.
Atari 2600 when I was a kid, before
Okay.
Nintendo came out. Used to play Space Invaders.
Yeah, it's about the same level.
We had a Coleco, and before that we had an Amstrad. I don't know if you guys remember the Amstrad, but it had cassettes for all the media, and there was a Buck Rogers game, and when you were flying around, there were like these spaceships that looked like fried eggs flying around, and you would just hear the tape going.
No, I just had a Trash 80 that had a tape drive.
I think it's the same idea. I think the Amstrad was just the cheap version of it.
Anyways,
Why do we do this?
I'm going to fast forward a little
Okay.
and say that you hang up your phone call and we move on to the very next day.
All right. Let me move the dog while you do that.
All right.
Dog,
The
come.
sun is up.
Well,
And,
I did have a question for him actually, but
For
now he's
Jim.
gone. Yeah,
All right.
for Willard. Basically, what kind of bird? I mean, I guess the chickadees were pretty violent,
yeah.
despite
He
you
didn't
saying
specify.
they were non-violent. But
Yeah, but wouldn't you infer that it was probably one of the hawks, just
I was
because of
gonna
the fact
say-
that it attacked the dog?
Yeah. I
I
don't think a
guess.
chickadee,
Well-
even with that higher intelligence would be that ballsy.
I can tell you the automatic. I don't know what he's going to tell you, but the birds that were talking to him were not chickadees. The bird that he brought to Fuzz is definitely not a chickadee.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he's just going to ask you when he gets back if Cat asks him. So do you want to just tell us?
Yeah.
Okay.
They weren't chickadees. I'll tell you that.
But they're not hawks.
I didn't say that. I just said they're not chickadees.
Fuzz, grab the phone.
What? Did I hear something?
Grab the phone.
I thought I heard a distant voice.
Fuzz!
Oh.
What kind of bird is it?
It's a hawk.
Oh, wow, thank you.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a hawk.
Fuzz thinks it's a hawk, but he won't take it from Willard, even though
Yeah.
Willard is thrashing it in front of his face.
3 hawks
Yeah, he
to
tried
be
to hand
exact.
it to me, but I didn't really want to
All right.
touch it.
I don't blame you.
I get that a
Oh
lot.
my god. I have to say one thing because that just reminded me and it's funny. I had the actual why did the chicken cross the road today to get to my house. That was the answer. I didn't realize because on one side we have neighbors that have chickens and then on across the street we have neighbors that have chickens. The neighbors on our right side, I thought they had black and red chickens. So I just assumed the red chickens were always the ones coming over. No, the 4 chickens every day cross the road to get to our house.
They never get run over.
No, never. That's why when I saw one this morning and I was like, there's a chicken in the middle of the road. And Andrew was like, yeah, they come across the street. I'm like, but it's in the middle of the road. And literally it like just walked by and then
Do
a car
they-
went by. And I was like,
Do they not travel out onto Highland Street, or do
No.
they only stick to?
they will go into the house completely opposite the side of our road. They'll go to the front of that yard. They'll cross
Yeah.
the street and come to our yard, and they'll go back to where their house is because their house is like 3 or 4 down the road. They've never crossed that far to the street. They just go to our house and the neighbor's house. Like, birds are weird.
Birds are fucking weird.
I got rid of an entire turkey carcass, giving them to our chickens.
Oh,
Well, yeah, because they're
Scavengers.
That's
I
scary.
was trying to think of that word.
Cannibal. Didn't you
Cannibalism.
say that?
Cannibals. They can't. Yeah, no, they're cannibals. Even if you don't feed, give them they'll feed on themselves if they don't have food.
Gross.
In fact, actually, you're supposed to take your old eggshells and grind them up and put in their food because it's good for them for calcium, for making new
We
shells.
would do that with birds. Put it in the bird feeders because it helps their next eggshells. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, you're back. It's a hawk.
3
It's a
hawks
hawk.
were on there, to be exact. Plus the 4th that I brought with me that I'm aware of.
Oh, so 3 hawks attacked it?
No. There were 3 hawks on the roof and 1 underneath him.
Okay, I didn't hear that part.
There were 3 on
Okay.
the roof that were telling me that I had to pay.
Oh, I thought the other one said it with its dying breath.
No,
No.
it was dead already.
Its beak was stuck in the dog's chest from where it was attacking
Yes.
the dog.
And now that you plucked it out, the dog is slowly bleeding to death.
Yes, but I'm 13 and too stupid to notice. I'm going to come back.
That's
It'll be my
okay.
fault the dog died after I tried so hard to help.
Yeah,
Well, my
don't
next
worry.
question was, are you going to take it to the vet? Because I was going to say, if you're not, we can try and get my mom's card and go to the emergency vet.
That's what Kat was gonna say.
Before, there's no such thing as an emergency vet.
Yeah, you're talking?
You just take it out. You just take it out back and shoot it.
I'm only picking on you because I actually heard you as I had the headset the whole time, so I heard you try to ask your question when I wasn't there. So, and then I heard you all talking about it. So. You guys are my company when I pee. Thank you.
You're so
Okay.
welcome. All right, then never mind. If the emergency vet doesn't exist, then that sucks.
No, but your dad's a biologist. He might be able to help.
Hey, a biologist is not a veterinarian, just like a doctor is not a veterinarian.
No, but one, he knows how animals work. Two, he probably has friends that would be a vet.
I mean, you have horses.
All right.
You can't have you. Let me point you this point of wisdom that I personally know. You cannot be a horse owner without being immediately
Vet's bitch.
Not a vet's bitch, but personally like friendly with a vet and a farrier. And yeah, no, horses are fucking expensive.
Yes, they are.
They're more
Okay,
expensive.
so
They're more expensive than babies.
my next story, or not my next story, my next question is how much is it going to deviate from the story if I go through the process of going to my dad, getting a vet, to go to the house, to go take care of the dog?
It's gonna get us extra games.
Woo! That is completely up to you, ma'am. I mean, you can certainly try.
Hunter, you got a couple more months before that baby comes out. So I mean, you got time.
No, I'm done in the last week in November is my last time. So I mean, we can make it go through more weeks if you want, but and it's 9:00 at night. And so all I know is that it's a thing in his chest.
A dog has been wounded.
Yes. But your dad, I don't know, and I don't know shit about your dad, so I will.
Because you wouldn't pay attention. You wouldn't pay attention to anyone else.
Yes, true. I will begrudgingly hang up the phone.
But Cat is still on the phone.
Yeah, Cat. I would say that doesn't hang up, right? I've never had that happen before.
No, that's correct. As long as somebody is still on the line,
okay,
it doesn't hang up.
The line is engaged.
Okay, and then I'll go downstairs.
All right. So Cat and Willard, you hear a click, and you hear silence.
Did she hang up?
Well, we could come over in the car. I could put sheet metal on it to keep the birds out.
What, on the car?
Armor up the windshield and the windows.
It sounds to me like Cat is going to steal the car and make some kind of Mad Max.
I literally am going. I'm like, Cat. I don't think Mrs. Radcliffe would like it if you took her car
and made it into a Mad Max mobile.
So I'm the only one that thought you meant the dog. Cool.
Yes, you are.
Okay. I'm gonna go see if my dad's still downstairs.
He is indeed. He's in his study, and he is reading.
Dad?
Yes, Bumpkin?
Do you know how to sew animals shut?
What?
My friend's dog was attacked by a bird, and it's in the chest.
Why doesn't he take it to a vet?
They don't really have money. And apparently emergency vets don't exist. Do they really not exist? Like, you don't have 24-hour ones?
They definitely don't in New Hampshire.
Yeah, not in the 80s, they don't.
Okay.
We're lucky we had an emergency room.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, we can investigate in the morning if you want. There's nothing we can do tonight.
Okay. Can't say I didn't try. I'll go back upstairs to my room and pick up the phone again.
You know, adults are lazy in the 80s. It's 9 o'clock. I'm not fucking going out for some stupid dog.
I'm not going to leave my house to save a dog's life.
As you get back upstairs, your brother Anthony is. You see, he didn't realize you were downstairs, but as you come up the stairs, you can see that he's kind of going towards your room, and then as he sees you coming up the stairs, he turns to you and says, "Hey, Amelia, I have this really weird question for you."
Is it about a dead dog?
No.
That it can't be any weirder than what's going on.
Do you see
What?
a dead dog? That would be really cool.
No, what? Oh, gross. No. What?
I just want to know if you had any graph paper.
What do you need graph paper for?
And then he realizes what he asked you for, and he says, well, graph paper is really good to draw out plays on for football.
Okay. I will go into my room and get graph paper because I would assume I would need some for math. And I will give him like, I don't know, a stack.
Out of your trapper keeper.
Thanks, Amelia. This will help out a lot. Thank you. And he takes the graph paper and he goes back to his room.
You won't get lost in that dungeon.
Anyway, I'm gonna pick up the phone. We can come out tomorrow.
Kat and Willard.
I thought you guys put Fuzz on the phone.
He did, but I don't think Fuzz wants to talk on the phone.
He handed
I assumed I had given it back to him at this point.
Yeah.
But Jasper's dying.
There's nothing my dad can do. The vets are closed. You're gonna have to go there on a bike yourself if you think you can sew up a dog, but there's nothing we can do until the vets are open. Plus, we don't know if he's dying. He could be fine.
Okay. I know what I have to do. And I hang up the phone.
You're not gonna shoot it, are you? Please don't. You're gonna shoot it. Let me leave, please.
Kat and Amelia, you hear the tone of the other side being disconnected. Both of you are still technically on the line, but you do hear the.
All right, I hang up.
Oh no! I hang up.
All right.
And then kind of run up to wherever Amelia is, if I know, and say,
in her room.
He's not gonna do what I think he's going to, is he?
That's when you realize Stacy and Ham are in Amelia's room. And you're like, what is going on with your friend?
She knows everything, right? I think we were talking.
She knows everything about the birds.
Yeah. So the birds attacked they attacked Willard's dog. And they don't know if he's going to make
Ham?
it. Is that why Ham limps?
Yeah, Ham protected me.
Oh, see, if that little dog can survive the birds, Jasper can survive the birds. At least until the morning.
Okay.
But, I mean, you can call back and ask, but I have no idea, Kat.
Jasper is so dead.
I know, literally, I'm like, literally, I'm saying that, be like, oh, it's going to be fine. Jasper totally dead.
Well, hawks can't see well at night, can they?
I don't know about birds.
And, they didn't work on the owls too, did they? Like, they didn't put chips in the owls?
Not to our knowledge. I don't...
Make an investigation roll, Kat.
You can remember it being in the drawings of the book?
Yeah, make it. Unless you can explain to me where a different skill would make better sense.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Maybe
I would think comprehend, right?
Kind of recognize
investigate or comprehend
bird in the drawing, but yeah, probably investigate. Okay.
Hurt me really won't make
right.
me cry.
You don't remember seeing anything about any owls. Unless you want to push yourself.
I'll do after this. There even be any?
I mean,
Sure,
though
I
I
guess.
doubt it.
Alright,
Theoretically, this could be the
well,
last session.
take a condition. Take a condition.
Cat is rather upset.
Alright.
Apparently,
She still doesn't remember anything about any owls.
All right,
And she is continually getting more angry and upset, going in circles about
what was it? Comprehend or
if she
they're
remembers.
the same. Can I try and remember?
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna try and comprehend. Because they're both the same.
she can't remember the big purple owl.
Hey, look at me go! I remember something.
You remember that when you were closing in on the structure that the birds were building, there were several owls in that group.
Oh, okay. So I will say there were some owls. So they not only have hawks and chickadees, there are some owls in that thing too. Well, at the very least.
Even though owls are technically predatory birds.
Yeah. But if they have communication.
They've got owls too.
Yeah, so we should probably wait until tomorrow when we can go and see whatever's going on. Take the dog to the vet.
But he's dying now.
Well, we don't know if he's actually dying. We're not vets. Willard's not a vet. Fuzz isn't a vet. We don't actually know if the dog is dying or not. And I'm sorry, but even if you took my mom's credit card, there's nowhere open that can take care of him.
My man's a
Well, there must be something I could do.
You can certainly go and try, but you might only make things worse. You don't know how to take care of animals. Like sewing them up to make sure they're not going to die and making sure that they don't get infected. Things like that. I understand Willard's important to you, so this dog is important to you, but you have a limit.
And you're a child.
Yeah, and you're 12. I think. No.
13, actually.
13.
But, yeah.
Yeah, well, you're acting like you're 12.
like a year difference.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I do that in real life, so.
Yeah, I know. And you become misimportant.
When you turn 13, it's like the biggest deal. You're a teen now. It's different.
Well, she is certainly acting that way.
Oh, good for her.
Well, fine. Cat just kind of stalks off angrily and doesn't seem to know how to respond.
Goes off to her bedroom, which is the guest bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Where her cat is lying on the bed waiting for her to arrive. It's like, pet me. I've been waiting for you this whole time. Where have you been? Where have you been? You've been neglecting me.
And it says all this.
It says all this in 3 very distinct looks.
And then the cat spirit talks to me.
Oh, no, don't bring up the cat spirit. No.
I steeple my fingers.
Yeah.
Yes, the cat spirit. How you passed me over for the moon. How could you?
Yeah, cat will just lie on the bed and just kind of hug her cat like, I wouldn't know what to do if they got you.
Her cat moves away from her like, I didn't want hugs.
The cat pursues the cat.
Hugs constrict me, and you know I like to be a free spirit.
Just this once, Scrappy.
She says, fine.
Poor cat.
But just for 2 seconds. Then I'm going to go and scratch your knee. She seems very content for the 2 seconds that you hug her, but then she definitely wants out after the 2 seconds. And she does indeed move down to your leg and bury her claws into your knee. All right.
Fine.
Any other actions that night?
Just going to bed.
All right. Willard, Fuzz provides you with his living room couch.
Well, in the interest of speeding it up, I will just tell you what I was going to do, and then you can, if there's a reason to have anything happen because of it, then that's up to you. But he is going to ride back in terror in the dark on his bike.
Okay.
He is going to go to his house. He's going to get the blanket off his bed and his wand that he carved, and he is going to,
What?
His wand, his D&D prop, and he's going to crawl in the doghouse and cover the dog and stand guard over it until he falls asleep or sits in guard over the dog. But we don't have to play any of that out. That's just what he was going to do.
All I'm going to say is, by this time, Jasper, at least you hope, he has fallen asleep.
When I wake up and he's really cold.
He when you arrive, he is warm, but he is not awake. He has finished some of his food, and most of the water that you have provided.
Well, I cover him with a blanket, and I sit behind him, and I watch the doorway.
Okay.
I'm sure I'll fall asleep, but he's determined.
You eventually do fall asleep.
Right.
You wake up the next morning, very abruptly, as you hear your father, who is leaving through the back door of the house, off the back shed, or back, I keep calling it the shed, the back porch, down the steps, and he says, "Boy!"
Right. I'll stick my head out.
Says, "What the fuck's wrong with? Why are you sleeping in the doghouse?"
It's protecting Jasper. He's hurt.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
He's bleeding, Dad. He's bleeding.
That just makes him stronger.
I thought that was just me, Dad.
What a worthless piece of shit you are. And he makes his way towards his truck, which he starts up with some bravado, and he revs it up to high RPMs.
Because the neighbors complain, so fuck them. Yep. He's going to be loud. Yep.
Yep. And he's like, he leaves immediately.
Okay.
Like, you don't even know why he even commented, because he doesn't seem to care all that much at all.
Is Jasper still alive? To the best of my ability to know.
Roll a d6. You determine his fate.
With chance.
Yes.
Okay.
He is indeed alive.
Okay. I peer out and look for birds, and then I'll get him some more food and water and so on and so forth.
You poke your head out of the doghouse, and it feels odd to you, but there doesn't seem to be any natural wildlife present outside in your backyard.
Okay.
You don't see any birds. You don't see any squirrels. You don't see any chipmunks. You don't hear any of them. You don't hear any hooting owls in the distance.
Well, I'm gonna run to the house as fast as I can.
Okay.
To try and get him more food, and then run back to the doghouse.
Okay. He's still unconscious.
And I'm a 13-year-old boy.
Okay.
We have stairs on the back porch, right?
Correct.
Do we have any lumber around?
Of course you do. You're a poor family who never throws anything away.
All right, so I'm gonna try
you have a pile of odds and ends of various construction material on the side of the tool shed.
I'm gonna try to make a ramp just by putting boards over the stairs, and then I'm gonna try to roll him over on a blanket and try and drag him into the house, into my room, which I don't know if he's capable of doing. I assume that I would need a force or move roll.
You're trying to carry him inside?
Trying to drag him up over the porch into my room, yeah.
All right.
I don't think I can carry him, probably.
That's gonna be a force roll. And to carry him all the way to your room, you're gonna need 2 successes.
Come on, baby.
1 success just to move him, and 2 successes to be able to move him all the way up the steps of the back porch, through the kitchen, and into your room.
Well, I'm exhausted. Let's see if I can get another success. Yes!
All right.
Oh.
So you push yourself, exhausting yourself for the day,
and
you manage to get Jasper into your room.
All right. I will make him as comfortable as I can in my room, and I will make sure he has water.
Okay.
And then I will very tiredly bike to the hideout.
The rest of you wake up the very next day. And I assume at some point you make your way to the hideout. I'm going to say that there's no school this day. No summer school this day.
I would probably explain the situation to my parents, and depending on how they react, would get my mom's credit card.
She won't give it to you.
That's rude.
But she expresses her concern about your friend's pet and asks for their phone number so that she can call their parent and converse with them about this supposedly injured pet.
I will give them the number that called last night, and I know that that's not Willard's, but that's the number that I know.
All right. And the next morning, Fuzz, who I'm guessing usually sleeps a little later than normal, than the normal person.
I'd say that's accurate.
The telephone rings and wakes you up.
I get up and go to whichever room has the phone.
Hey, I'm going to say your brother has already left for the day because he has to maintain a job.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Working for the man.
Working for the man every night and day.
And he says, you hear a voice on the other line, and you immediately recognize it as Amelia's mother. And you can kind of hear Amelia in the background. It's like, what is his name, Amelia?
Willard?
Willard, yes. Hello, this is Mrs. Radcliffe. Is there a Willard there? I would like to speak to a Willard.
No, he went back home last night, Mrs. R.
Oh, well, do you happen to have his telephone number? Amelia seems quite distraught about some animal or pet that Willard has.
Oh, yeah. Here you go. You have a pen and paper?
Yes, I do.
All right, I'll give her his number.
All right. And she says, thank you. You've been the most helpful. You're a good child. And she hangs up the phone. Willard.
Mm-hmm.
Your phone, the one phone that you have in your house, which is in the kitchen, starts ringing.
Okay.
It doesn't ring very often.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, where is it? Start looking around for it. Oh, it's under my dad's clothes. Okay, I get it.
In the kitchen?
Yeah, it's where he throws his shirt every night until Mom does the laundry, you know?
Sure. Is your mom even living there? Anyways. You pick up the phone and it says, excuse me, is this Willard? I'm looking for Willard. This is Mrs. Radcliffe, Amelia's mother.
Oh, hi, Mrs. Radcliffe. I wasn't sure who it was. We don't get a lot of phone calls.
Well, young Amelia here is with me, and she's quite distraught about your pet. What was it? It's a dog.
Jasper.
Jasper, yes, Jasper.
He's very sick.
It's Jasper. Oh, he's sick. Oh, do you need any assistance? I can come over and give you a ride to the vet if you'd like.
Yes, please. My dad went to work.
What is your address?
I give her the address on Texas Hill.
All right. She says, "All right, I'm going to hang up now, but I will be there in about 15 minutes."
Okay, he's really heavy.
All right, I will make sure I will bring Anthony with me.
Daddy's not getting out of it.
And Jonathan.
Okay.
All right. So she hangs up the phone, and your mother, instead of going upstairs and knocking on Anthony's door, she just kind of yells up the stairs like a mom does. Jonathan! I mean, not Jonathan. Anthony! Jonathan! Downstairs immediately! Which Anthony goes, "What, Mom?" Says, "I need your help. You need to come with me immediately." "Oh, Mom, really?" And they both kind of shuffle downstairs. Says, "You need to come with me and help me, because I need a strong young boys like yourselves with a project." And they both kind of look at each other like, "I'd rather be upstairs rolling random encounters."
What does that mean?
Anthony stops for a second, realizes what he just said, and he says, "That means like when the other team throws the ball and we don't know what's really going to happen." Don't you even watch football?
Sure. She's gonna note that for later.
All right. So she piles you into the car, and she kind of ignores Kat. So Kat kind of has the choice to include herself if she chooses.
If Kat heard all this, she's going to come along.
So she piles Kat, Amelia, Anthony, and Jonathan into the family station wagon. Those of you who want to ride in the back of the station wagon can, without seatbelts.
Cat will.
We had one of those when I was a kid.
I did that all the fucking time. And they go off towards Texas Hill Road to Willard's house. Willard, you are I don't know, in your bedroom with Jasper.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear a knock on your door.
Okay. Well, just in case, I'll have my wand in hand.
Okay.
And I'll go up and I'll look out through the curtain. Oh, who am I kidding? There's no curtain. I peek out of the hallway out through the glass.
You see, standing out of your dilapidated house, a crowd of people. You see Mrs. Radcliffe, Amelia, Kat, Anthony, and Jonathan, all standing outside your front door.
Okay. I will rush my dirty little self over to the door and put the wand in my belt loop and open it up.
All right. You say, Willard, I heard you have a sick animal?
Jasper's been hurt, yes. He's bleeding.
Okay.
Lead us to Jasper.
I say to Kat, he's bleeding. And I'll start bringing everybody back into my room.
All right.
Oh, he's going to have people in his room? He's never had somebody in his room before.
What? All right. Explain for a second what your room looks like.
Besides being the normal 13-year-old boy mess, there'll be posters on the wall, you know.
What kind of posters?
Probably Star Wars and whatchamacallit, a ratty secondhand Dungeons and Dragons, like dragon.
Ooh. Devo.
Poster.
Oh, like some kind of Larry Elmore artwork?
Yeah, that I got from somebody who felt bad for me and let me have his old poster kind of thing, because of course I couldn't get something like that. Star Wars was a present from Rah-Rah.
Like the iconic dragon horde.
Yes.
Giant red dragon with a barbarian in the front.
The one that everybody has on their t-shirts now. Yeah.
Yeah, he's swinging his I don't remember if it's a sword or an axe.
His
he's
big
swinging
broadsword.
the red dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's got D&D books and models and, you know, weird, like, bones and stuff that he's found. And yeah, pretty eclectic and weird.
All right. Mrs. Radcliffe immediately goes and says, "Oh, my dear, your dog looks ill."
Yeah, and I show him where he's bleeding on his chest, which I'm sure is pretty bad by now.
We must get him to the vet immediately.
He's too heavy for me to carry. I had to drag him.
Oh, Anthony and Jonathen, and she doesn't really snap her fingers. Let's not get that sarcastic.
I'll help.
They kind of she's like, we need to move this dog to the car. But you notice as they move through your room, Jonathan and Anthony kind of look at your
my stuff,
your posters, and they're not making any snide remarks.
Damn right they're not. They're envious of that poster.
But they're not saying anything. In fact, you see Jonathan almost say, "Is that a Larry?" And then he stops mid-sentence. And they pick up the dog, and the dog kind of shakes the life or consciousness. At least you think it's consciousness. And starts to struggle against the movement. But the boys, being athletes, are able to move the dog to the car without too much trouble. Jasper doesn't fully come to consciousness, but he does struggle somewhat. And I'm guessing you all follow to the car.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And once you're all in the car, Mrs. Radcliffe. Wow, there's a lot of people in this car.
And I've derailed the game.
You have not derailed the game. And she brings you to the veterinarian, where after several hours, the vet does not immediately see the dog, just like any medical profession. They can't think of that word. Triage animals, but even more so than humans. And being a non-human life-threatening ailment, they don't seem it very important. So you wait at the vet for what seems to be hours. When the vet eventually comes back out and says, and addresses Mrs. Radcliffe, because she's the only adult that is there. The vet goes on about Jasper's been wounded. It appears he's taken a laceration, a rather deep laceration to his chest. He's lost a lot of blood, but it is all completely repairable. And he goes on to ask Mrs. Radcliffe about where the dog got these injuries. And at this point, Mrs. Radcliffe says, well, this isn't my dog. This is, and she starts pointing towards Willard. This is Willard's dog. She is a friend of my daughter, Amelia. He's a friend of my daughter, Amelia.
That's a natural mistake to make. It's okay.
I actually made that mistake. That was actually a mistake. But we're gonna keep it in the game. We're gonna keep that. That's what actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, the vet says, "Well, who's paying the bill?" And Mrs. Radcliffe goes, "I'll pay the bill. Don't you worry. Just make sure the dog is taken care of, and I will pay whatever is necessary." At that point, the vet kind of turns towards Willard and says, asks you, well, young man, what happened to your dog?
He was attacked by birds. Hawks.
You can see that he doesn't quite believe you. It's like, birds don't attack dogs.
It bit on his chest and it wouldn't let go, and he killed it, but I had to pull it off.
Okay.
And they have circuits in the, wired in their heads, so it makes them crazy.
And the vet looks towards Mrs. Radcliffe.
Oh,
and
did
Mrs.
you bring the
Radcliffe
bird?
looks back at him, and you can kind of see a look of understanding between the two adults.
Cat says, "Oh, did you bring the bird, Willard? We can show them."
He's at the house. He's still in the basket.
Oh. I see.
Well, son, even though you're not my son, I'm going to call you son. Your dog will live, but he's lost a lot of blood and he's very ill.
I know.
All right. Well, we need to keep him here for at least several days.
Willard starts to panic. He's like, but my dad will find out that he's not there.
And again, he looks back towards Mrs. Radcliffe.
He's going to get very angry.
perhaps we can explain to him what happened.
You tell him that he's really sick?
I mean, of course I can.
Well, he works at Sasasimo's. You have to call him there. He doesn't like to be called there, but I mean, it's an emergency, right?
Of course, we can call. Isn't that lumber mill?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can call him.
His name's Steve Luke.
Oh, Steve Luke. All right, and she opens her purse and pulls out a small notebook and she jots that name down. All right. Well, I mean, your dog's going to be staying here for a few. Would you like us to give you a ride home?
I look at the other kids.
I think everyone's there but Fuzz.
Yeah.
Yep.
I look around to see if anybody says anything. Okay. Thank you.
I mean, I think we can just head to. We have some stuff we can do if you just want to go home, Mom.
All right. I mean, I can bring you back to the house if you'd like.
How far away is the hangout?
From the vet's office or from your house?
From the vet. Well, both. Which one's closer, I should say?
Your house is closer.
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, we'll go back to the house then. I didn't know if it was going to be closer.
Right.
If we go back to the house, I could get the bird.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I can draw. I mean, I could. I mean, if you need to pick something up at your house, I could wait a few minutes and then I could bring you back to our house if you'd like.
Okay.
Is that what you want to do, Willard?
Mm-hmm.
All right. She kind of pulls Amelia aside for a second and says, "Is everything all right with your friend Willard? He seems a bit confused."
I think he's just shocked about what happened with the dog and doesn't really know how to react.
Okay. But he I don't know. He dresses kind of funny.
I mean, he's Cat's friend, so I don't know why you're asking me.
I mean, I thought you were all friends.
Guilty by association.
All right. I mean, Cat dresses like a boy.
Well, yeah, but you know where she comes from.
Yeah, but Willard dresses like a girl.
Okay, well, when we go to his house, you'll see where he comes from. Or you saw the inside of his house.
Yeah, I mean, look at the posters. He doesn't have, like, I don't know, what boys normally have on the wall. He didn't have any, like, girls, half-naked girls or anything. He had, like, dragons and half-naked men.
I don't know.
All right. I'm just asking, all right? Because, listen, I want to make sure that all of you children are safe.
I mean, we are. He's fine.
All right. Just as long as you're sure. I trust you, Amelia. I trust you.
I'm sure this is a really weird conversation.
All right.
Yeah,
All
it
right.
is. I say next to her.
No, he said that she pulled me aside.
I know. I was making a joke.
Let's just go.
All right. So, Mrs. Radcliffe packs you back into the station wagon, minus the dog.
Okay.
And drives you back to Willard's house. And on the trip back, Jonathan speaks up and says, "Hey, man, that really sucks about your dog.
Yeah. It does.
I had a dog once. We had to put it down."
You don't think we're gonna have to put him down, do you?
I mean, that's he looks a little confused. Like that's not where he was the direction he was going in. but he's a young boy, and he kind of just lets things come out of his mouth.
Right.
I mean, we had to put him. I don't think we're gonna have to put down your dog, but we didn't have a vet. My father just shot him.
That sounds like something my dad would do.
I mean, like my dad shot our dog too. I mean, he sounds like our dads are the same.
What was your dog's name?
Cajo.
Bartholomew St. Cloud.
Nice.
What?
But we called him Bart for short.
Great.
Oh, I'm sorry about Bart.
Yeah, well, he was real sick. And we didn't have money. And we didn't have someone as nice as Mrs. Radcliffe to take him to the vet and pay for him.
Yeah. They are pretty nice.
But I guess we had enough money for that ammo. At that comment, Anthony kind of gives a laugh, like, "Ha, that was kind of funny." Even though it clearly was not funny.
It was clearly not funny.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's why Anthony is your anchor.
So, do you guys think I should show your mom the bird or just bring it to the vet? 'Cause she doesn't seem to believe me.
Do we want to get more adults involved?
At this point, Jonathan and Anthony are like, "Bird? What bird?"
The bird that attacked Jasper.
Jonathan looks at Willard, kind of concerned, but Anthony looks at Amelia, also concerned. Remember, you're in the back of a car being driven by an adult.
Yeah.
I think we can talk about it later. With people that are aware.
It's getting dangerous.
Anthony kind of looks at Amelia and is like, what's going on here?
Nothing. Just think about your football and your random encounter and whatever that means. Shouldn't you be thinking about football?
Yeah, we should be thinking about football. And he kind of gives Jonathan a look.
They have random encounters in football?
She just gives a shit-eating grin.
It's like, yeah, they have random encounters in football.
Really?
Where
I
else
didn't
do
know
they have
that.
random encounters?
Well, in the game, remember when I tried to get you guys to play? And I told you that I had that whole table of random encounters that I was like ready to play with? And we had orcs and kobolds.
Anthony says, "It sounds like your friend's into football."
No, it's
I don't
Dungeons
think
and
it was-
Dragons Advanced.
Huh.
That sounds like something a nerd would say.
Do you need graph paper for random encounters in Dungeons and Dragons?
He's kind of just more looking hurt at them. He's like...
At the two older boys, or...
Yeah, for a second. And then he's like, what? No, you use that to draw maps. Because you get lost in the dungeon or you'll hit the same trap more than once, or...
Anthony speaks up. Everyone knows graph paper is the best to draw plays on.
Sure. Well, anyway, don't worry about what's going on. He's just grieving. I mean, it's not dead yet, but it's not gonna die. Everything's gonna be fine.
Yeah, Jonathan speaks. It's not an it, it's a dog.
You know what I mean, Jonathan.
He kind of looks
Jasper?
towards Anthony and he's like, "Your sister's cold."
Who said that?
Jonathan.
I'm your sister too, bitch. Shut up.
Jonathan's not your brother. Jonathan is your friend's. Is your brother's friend.
Who sometimes
is
is
this
gay.
your boyfriend?
Yes.
I forgot he was
just
sleeping over.
Yeah, he just happened to be there.
Oh.
That's why I was so hurt that he said it was what nerds liked.
Anyways, get back to Willard's house.
Well, maybe we should show the bird to the vet. Maybe he'd understand it. Though, do you think he's an electrical engineer too? Probably not.
No, and I think we need to keep the adults out of it.
Aren't we going to talk to adults today about it?
We're going to talk to each other when we get back to
So at
our
this
hideout.
point, I'm going to say it's convenient that you guys are having this conversation back at Willard's house, and Mrs. Radcliffe is sitting, well, not sitting, but leaning against the hood of the car, smoking a cigarette. Because it's the 80s.
Oh, outside of the car. How nice of her.
And 3/4 of adults smoke cigarettes. Perhaps she keeps it hidden from Mr. Radcliffe.
Are they Virginia Slims?
Yes, they are Virginia. In fact, I'm going to say she does indeed keep it a secret from Mr. Radcliffe.
Ooh.
Just like he has his secret stash of porn in the shed that,
He doesn't have a secret stash of porn in the shed. He has a secret stash of whiskey.
Oh.
Wonderful.
Adults in their vices.
Anyway, why would we tell the vets?
Because then they could help Jasper better. And they would know birds.
The machine portion didn't attack Jasper.
All right, stop for a second. Where are you having this conversation? And is Anthony and Jonathan nearby?
That's really up to Amelia, because I would think it would be me running around getting a trash bag to put the bird in. So it'd be either at the bike or in the house if they're following me in the house to get a trash bag.
All right.
Yeah.
So
I assumed we went into the house.
All right. So at this point, Anthony doesn't really want to go back in the house. He wants to stay outside with his mother, or at least in the car, and wait. But Jonathan kind of convinces him with very vague and false reasons that they need to go inside because you feel that Jonathan wants another look at your posters.
Which ones? The half-naked boys or the dragon?
Both. So Anthony and Jonathan are in the house as well. Anthony's just kind of at this point, Anthony is ignoring the rest of you, and he's made his way into the kitchen, and he's actually rummaging through the refrigerator. And Jonathan is in your room, Willard.
Okay.
Away from Anthony. And you can see him looking at your figures, your miniatures, your action figures, and your posters.
Well, I thought we'd be in the kitchen because that's where I think I would find the trash bags, but I could be in the pantry if that's where you think they are.
Well, I mean, you can grab the trash bag, but where did you keep the bird?
It was in the basket of the bike. Because remember,
so you'd have to go back outside.
It. Exactly.
All right, Anthony still stays in the kitchen. He's doing something in the kitchen. Jonathan is still in your room, despite you not being present.
Okay. I don't think much of it. I'm talking to them about the...
All right, and then
bird.
If you went outside to get the bird, then only you, Amelia, and Kat are outside.
There we go. There we go, Kat. We did it.
Well, maybe... Shouldn't we warn them about these birds attacking people? I mean...
That's what I was saying.
And maybe they believe it now, though. Well, I guess just seeing the circuit board on a bird is just kind of weird.
Well, it's proof, right?
Well, proof that something weird with the birds, but maybe not that they're attacking people?
Proof that Willard is probably going to end up in a home for disturbed children.
Yeah.
Or that he won't.
Why can I only see a cartoon of Hunter?
Because I'm laying on the ground.
Well, now I really want you to turn on the camera so I can laugh at you.
Absolutely not.
Oh, she turns on the camera. You probably won't see her if she's on the floor.
That's
yeah,
true.
exactly. I would be on the ground.
You just see an empty chair and a bed and a giant yoga ball in the background. And
I don't know. I get this image of like you see the desk and the chair, and then like in the little space between the desk and the chair, it's the little belly sticking up.
No, my belly is.
I don't think her belly's
not.
that big.
No.
No.
I mean,
doubt-
it's. Oh, you guys suck.
It's not like I can really
You're
tell.
making her get up.
I'm not making her get up. You are.
You're not making her do anything.
You are. You're
Leave
making
her
her get
camera
up.
turned. She can leave her camera turned off.
Off after. But
Aw,
that's
you're
not
too
Jesus
cute.
Christ. You're fucking huge.
Thanks. Wow. Thanks so much. No, I've been sitting all day, so
Alright.
I had to lay down because she was in
I
a
mean,
bad
it's 10
position.
o'clock. We're not going to go much further.
You could lay
Okay.
down, but you have a very cute little belly.
Thanks.
For sure. There's a
That was
baby
called
in there.
fat.
No, it's not called fat. It's called baby.
It's called
No, I
baby.
know.
The babies are kind of fat. I mean, to be clear, you know.
I mean, yeah, for a while. They need that fat.
Anyway,
All right. So you're outside having a conversation about a bird.
What's that?
oh, I was just singing the bird song. We should probably, at this point, you have the bird in the bag.
Yes.
Bird in the bag.
We need to reconvene with Fuzz and figure out what we're gonna do. I don't think we should get more adults involved.
All right, we need
Where's-
a boat.
Actually, we forgot one thing during this whole situation.
What?
Where's Stacy during this whole thing?
At the house.
I was just thinking
alone.
that she's probably just at the house watching the horses or whatever.
All right. Yeah, she's completely enamored with the horses.
She's
Yeah.
with your dad right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. That didn't sound quite right. I'm sorry.
No, it
No,
did
it sounded
not.
bad.
Nope, that
Not with
sounded
your dad.
terrible.
All right.
Yeah, I figured go home, pick Stacy, or get Stacy and reconvene. She needs to vote too if she knows what's going on.
Well, and now that you say that, I guess I mean, if we tell other adults, then maybe the men in black would come for them too.
Yeah, or they'll just play it off as we're crazy and we're back at square one. They take the bird away.
Which
On that.
seems a completely logical thing, considering that Kat's father knew. Well, I believe Kat told her father about the dream device.
Did you?
Maybe?
No.
That sounds familiar.
Or maybe it's completely assumable. How about that? It's completely assumable that Kat's father might have found the dream device wherever it ended up was at Kat's house.
Okay, yeah.
He wasn't
I
taken
hid
by
it
men in
somewhere then.
black. He turned on the machine and got sucked into another dimension.
Ooh. You know what? You've read too far ahead.
Well, I'm not sure if that's better or worse.
If anything, it's very Cthulhian.
But wouldn't the machine still be there, though, then?
Not if it got sucked up with him. and he's like stuck there because he can't power it. We have to find how to get that machine back.
Can we just get to the hideout and talk?
I'm
Where
very
we can
tired.
talk?
He starts crying again.
All right. Mrs. Radcliffe, seeing you guys outside, says, "Willard, have you got everything? And she looks at her watch. She says, "Mr. Radcliffe's going to be home soon. I got to start dinner."
Yep, I'm all set. I got my trash bag tied up tight.
All right. Where's Anthony and Jonathan?
I think they're in my room.
Oh, and then that's when Anthony and Jonathan come out of the house. We're right here. We're coming. We're coming. It's quite obvious both of them have something.
Obvious to me?
To all of you, except for Mrs. Radcliffe, apparently. That each one of them, both Jonathan and Anthony, have something that they're carrying.
I'm going to investigate.
That's hidden. Go ahead, roll investigate.
I'm going to.
On which one?
Anthony.
No, you don't see nothing.
I will also on Anthony.
I suppose I will on Jonathan.
You guys are all coming up nothing. You're all coming up nothing. So
right.
Maybe you didn't see anything.
We didn't see anything. Hey, Fuzz, what about you? Oh.
No, he's not there.
Right.
Nope. All right. So you all get packed into the car, and Mrs. Radcliffe brings you back to the Radcliffe residence. And that is where I'm going to end it tonight.
Yeah. Hey, we made it. I didn't fall asleep once.
Not once.
We made it to the vets.
We have at least one more session.
At least.
I didn't mean to derail things.
You didn't derail things. I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, it was logical.
I just realized that even though he was afraid of Jasper, he's still a family member and he would have had empathy for the dog. So,
I mean, I hope you guys had fun, but I had fun.
Yeah.
Definitely didn't go where I thought it was going to go.
That's what she said.
You mean anywhere? we basically didn't leave where we left off last game, pretty much.
But I mean, that's why I said if you guys had fun, then
yeah,
we still achieved something.
Oh,
yeah.
That's
I
the
don't think
point.
she would have been able to let a dog die, so I think it played out how it would have.
All I want to say is I gotta make sure it's really clear. I slept in the doghouse in the dirt all night, so I am dirty, yucky, and been crying.
Yep. You smell like dog shit.
I smell like dog shit.
Wonderful.
But I have my wand. I have my wand in my belt loop, so I'm cool.
Oh wow! I'm surprised they didn't see that yet.
They probably didn't want to look at him.
Well, one of them did, but
what's that smell? And what did Anthony and Jonathan carry out of the Willard household? The
I'm
Luke
sure
household.
figures or something.
I will give you a hint. They are both of them carried out something completely different.
I'm assuming that Anthony took beer, and I'm assuming that Jonathan took whatchamacallit, dice or figures.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What if I said he took one of your shirts?
Well, I probably wouldn't notice right away.
And what if I say in a cutscene he takes out your shirt and he smells it?
I'd say, bow chicka wow wow.
Anyways, next week in our game, we pick up.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
you.
All right.
Yep, thank you.
Saved a dog's life.
Stop